wearing blue, taking on Laos, who will be playing in red. And Shebi Singh, a former Malaysia international, is alongside me, Des Korkil. And this is the Malaysia side that has got to get off to a winning start. And it's an attacking lineup with Indra Putra, Harudin Omar and Hadi Jafar.
Indeed it is, Des. And yes, it's good to see Mohamed Helmi in goal. Mohamed Helmi Eliza bin Elias, he's had 2 wonderful seasons with Kedah. The double treble, you can't ask for more than that. And he's looked ever comfortable. I saw him play in a friendly game against Chelsea, and he did not show any nerves.
Laos will hopefully not be troubling Mohamed Helmi. There's only a couple of players that we can really pick out from there. Vise, the number 9, is their real lone attacking striker, and Feivan is a central midfield, but we suspect it'll be defensive work that they'll be doing most of the time.
Definitely, I do expect them to play a cautious game. Weather conditions is going to be, I think it's going to be direct football from both teams, because the pitch is wet, it's heavy, it's not going to be too much give on the pitch. I don't think the ball is going to move around too much, so it'll be route 1. It'll be anybody's game. I think the pitch is going to be a great leveler.
Can't really afford to be a level for Malaysia, because with Thailand, Vietnam playing later on tonight, this is truly a must-win game.
And it is, Des, indeed, you know, for the Malaysians, they are up against a team that is technically and physically inferior to them, which means that Malaysia will have to take the game to Laos. They will have to put Laos under pressure. They will have to go out there and try to win the game. And Satyanathan, the coach here, while he's had a very comprehensive training program, and I would say that, you know, he does expect his boys to deliver this time. He's been set a target of the final at least, and it's all got to start against Laos.
This is Saisana Sabatoi, the coach of Laos. Expectations not high. They've already won their cup final. They've already won through a qualifying tournament. It's Laos in the red, in the teeming rain, in the holiday island of Phuket, who get us underway in this AFF Suzuki Cup. Bizarre conditions, but the reward at the end of it, Shebi, absolutely worthwhile. If Malaysia can make it to the semi-finals, anyone's game.
Oh, indeed it is. I think that, yes, Laos and Cambodia on the other side, they've come out of qualifiers, and there is a gap in Southeast Asian football, never mind Asian football. I think Thailand, Indonesia and Singapore really have cemented their place at the top as the top 3 teams. Vietnam and Myanmar are trying to break into the mold, but it is time now for Malaysia to prove, you know, that they are among the best in Southeast Asia. So just a little bit of added pressure on them, Des.
A reminder that in the opening game of the AFF Championship last time out, Laos frustrated Indonesia in their opener and led 1-0 at half-time in the first group game, and then they fell away and memorably or famously lost that 11-goal victory against Singapore. But it was the first game that sticks with me, and they fought for every ball and made life really tough for Indonesia, and I suspect they'll be looking to do exactly the same to Malaysia.
That should be the game plan. When you know you are technically inferior to your opponents, you have to work extra hard.
There's an early header just wide, and it's the man up from the back.
Well, that is a very big miss there from Khalil Muhyamin. I mean, good long throw, a little bit of a Stoke City there, great flick on. That should have been in the back of the net. It's a big chance, and Khalil Muhyamin knows he should have scored.
We don't expect him to get in that position, though. He's normally a supplier rather than being on the end of crosses.
Indeed, Des, you know, if anything, he would regret that. But his positioning was great, though.
Chandalafo gets the header in. Hadi Jafar beaten to the punch. Olma plays it out to the left back. And this is Feivan. Good distribution. Vise, the number 9, available in the middle. 16 is Somai. And Vise has got himself a little bit of space and has gone down. No penalty. Mohamed Helmi picks it up, but Azharuddin Putra came in from the side, and that was dangerous.
It was dangerous. I mean, it was a lovely give and go. Vise with a return ball. Well, to be honest, that has I think Malaysia got off a little bit lucky. Maybe it was that early in the game. because there was no contact with the ball whatsoever.
Chevy giving a little grimace there. I mean, that's certainly not the start they were after. As Noah Hafiz tries to play the ball down the line and plays it into space.
Well, this is the man. I thought he was extremely lucky as he acknowledges that. Dived in a little bit. The Malaysian defense got a bit square, and when that wall pass was played, it spelled danger for them.
Incredible conditions. The rain is bucketing down. Azharuddin Putra with a throw in this time. Easily picked off by Chandalafone.
It's good to see Malaysia taking the game to Laos. As I said, Malaysia has to take the initiative. They have to put Laos under pressure, try to get an early goal.
And they are indeed. It's gone out of play. Indra Putra puts the ball into the back of the net. I'd like to see that again, or was it clear to you?
Well, it did go out of play there. There's the whole of the ball, I would think. And once again, good passing, good movement. The Malaysians just looked that little bit sharper as compared to Laos, who are struggling to find their footing.
Quetzada will take the free kick. The decision going against Mohamed Aidil Zafwan. And Zafwan's got to defend, and defend well against Lamnau.
Well, Zafwan there doing extremely well, in my opinion, shepherding the forward down one way and then nicking the ball away for a corner.
Taken quickly but given away to Malaysia. No foul, says the referee. Harudin Omar. And this time, down the other end, the corner goes to Malaysia. Chandalafone across, covering Mohamed Farizal.
Well, it might only be first 5 minutes, but Chandalafone has already shown he's not only the captain, he's a leader on the pitch, playing a sweeper's role. He's done extremely well. And this is Hardy Jafar, wonderful left foot. He's going to whip the ball in, I'm sure. He's got the likes of Harudin Omar to hit for. Aidil Zafwan's there as well.
The left foot of Hardy Jafar, and it's come off the defender. Chandalafone it was who got a touch.
Well, he's been in the thick of the action, so to speak. Once again there, I mean, we spoke about Hardy Jafar's left foot. Great delivery, balls curling inwards. Chandalafone misjudges the flight of the ball, but gets a header.
Take two. Indra Putra, deep. Hardy Jafar once again, the big men are all still up. The clearing header only finds its way back once again to the Perak midfielder. Indra Putra, caught it well.
Well, chances being created there, or albeit half chances there, but the pressure is very, very important. Malaysia has got to keep the pressure on, try to get an early goal. Obviously, somebody has seen something from the stands, and there's a text message to the Lao coach.
Seng Fachan is the goalkeeper. Not the best clearance. Visai, the number 9, doing some defensive work, but it's Mohamed Khairul. Oh, it's just too far ahead of the onrushing, I think it was Amrul Hadi. Good turn by Fayvan. Good tackle by Indra Putra. Hardy Jafar went for the difficult ball inside the centre-back Sena Konvieng.
Well, once again, there's, I mean, you know, the advantages of early pressure. If you put the defenders under early pressure, there's nothing wrong with that challenge there. As I thought Indra Putra did extremely well winning it. But it is beginning to pay off. The Laos defenders not very happy.
Sena Convieng with the half clearance. And helped out by Somai. But Malaysia win it back. Mohamed Khairul's done well. Again, it's aimed towards that near post.
Well, very interesting there. Khairuddin Omar up front on his own, but Amirul Hadi coming in from the right-hand side. Des, he's one of the best players, young players I've seen in Malaysia for a while now. And I still feel that Amirul Hadi is very much better in central midfield running the show, but he's got the experience, Hadi Jafar and Shukar Adan in front of him. So Amirul Hadi plays on the right-hand side of midfield.
Shukar Adan doing the defensive work there. Helped out by Zamani, Mohamed Khairul. Starting on this left-hand side, and Shukar likes to be on the ball. Sometimes spends a little bit too long on it for my liking, but no doubts he's got a terrific vision.
Well, if there's one area where I think Malaysia are having the advantage, Des, is that the Laos defenders, when they drop off, they do not pick up the forwards. So Khairuddin Omar and Indra Putra come into midfield areas to receive the ball, and that is why Malaysia have had so much possession.
Big number 4 is the left back, Quetzada. Easily picked off though and punted for by Jazeli. And Chandalafone and his goalkeeper eventually work it out.
Well, Seng Pachan there, the goalkeeper, not showing composure at all. Perhaps the bounce slowed the ball down.
He's out to pick up more comfortably this time. Noticeable, he's playing everything short. He's not taken one long goal kick. As Quetzada looks for Feivan. Here is the midfielder. The foul. Quickly taken, Vise is the target. And as we approach the 10-minute mark, Mohamed Helmi hitting the effects mic, and we can hear that very clearly in our ears, but Mohamed Helmi has hardly had a touch to make.
Well, it's a good spell from Laos now in the last minute or so, and once again there, they are now beginning to settle down. Des, you mentioned the goalkeeper, never punts it long. He's always wanted to give it to his fullbacks, and that is a good strike. Get it on target.
Sena Convieng it was, forcing the save from Mohamed Helmi. Mohamed Khairul. Too much pace on it for Khairuddin.
Well, as I
saying into feet.
Exactly. I mean, in the weather conditions like that, ball's got to go into feet. And as I mentioned earlier, the Lao defenders don't come with the strikers. Khairuddin Omar made a yard for himself into feet. A call to turn, and things open up.
Quetzada. Quezon in support. And Chandalafone. He and the number 5, Suksame, will have plenty of work to do. And that's easily picked off.
Well, that's Asraruddin at left back. Looking very steady, very composed. They're trying to link up with Khairul Muhyiddin.
It's very much Sachin Anand's side this now, isn't it? It's his players he's brought through.
Well, it's fair to say, yes, he's been involved for many, many years now with the national team, from youth teams onwards. So he's very familiar with the young players, especially.
In Group A, on match day 1, there were big victories for Singapore, 5-0 over Cambodia, although it took them 44 minutes to break the deadlock against a resolute Cambodia defence. And then Indonesia were very impressive in seeing off Myanmar by 3-0 in the second game. Playing into the space for Lamnau. And Lamnau had Vise available. Suntale. And that's a free kick. And it was Favan. It was actually brought down by Mohamed Adel Zafwan.
Well, Des, I mean, you know, in the last couple of minutes, suddenly the Malaysians beginning to show some nerves. Keep your composure. That was misjudged by Adel Zafwan. And we've had a shot on target already from Laos from distance. There is no reason for that. No reason for Malaysia to get any nervous.
3 in the wall for Mohamed Helmi. 6, Chandalaphone is standing over the ball. Indra Putra makes it 4 in the wall, which seems a bit too many this wide. Favan curls it in, and that's an important touch. It might still break. Vise is onside, though. The whistle was very late.
Certainly it was the Malaysian defense blocking the first shot, but there's, I thought there was a bit of ball watching going on for the second ball into the box. Very lucky the linesman's flag went up, or the referee's assistant. But again, it's going to take something special to beat Helmi in goal.
Adnan Shuka a little bit late in on the back of Favan. Little wrap to the ankles.
Well, interesting. I thought Malaysia had the first 8-9 minutes, but in the last 3-4 minutes, it's no wonder Satyanathan is looking worried. Lau beginning to string a few passes together, getting men forward as well, and winning free kicks. Well, more mistimed than malicious there from Shuko Adan.
Shuko Adan this time wins it cleanly, and is then dispossessed by a well-timed tackle from Ketsara. And Suntale trying to set up Vise, and eventually they sort it out, but it doesn't look overly convincing defensively.
No, not at all. I mean, I did mention the word nervous 2 minutes ago, and suddenly there, from being nervous, there's slight panic in that central defense. Not Hafiz Zamani failing to control a simple pass. Asrarudin covering. And this is strange. There's, you know, like I said, there's no reason to panic. Keep possession, keep passing the ball to feet.
Zamani and Adel Zafwan. It's Mohamed Juzaili. Down the right-hand side is Indra Putra. Strong tackle once again by Ketsada.
Well, Indra Putra making that run from a striker's position wide. Amirul Hadi trying to play him in. Dautsu, who's been one of the more consistent players at right back.
Johor fullback's got a reasonable throw as well, and it's helped on by Indra Putra. So many red shirts. Oh, is there a handball there? Referee plays advantage, or doesn't see it. And Lamnau back helping out his defence. And then backs into Amirul Hadi.
Well, I would like to see this young lad get more of the ball. I would like to see Amirul Hadi in 1-against-1 situations against the fullback, because I think he's got wonderful skills. But the game has been running away a little bit from Malaysia now in the last 5 minutes.
Thailand versus Vietnam to come after this contest, and they go into this group as the favourites, the most likely to make it through to the semis. Agree or disagree, Chevy?
I have to agree, on paper at least. I mean, Thailand will definitely be in the semi-finals. It's a toss-up between Malaysia and Vietnam, Des. I would like to think that there is an even chance for either team. I think it'll all depend on the results they get against Thailand, because I do expect Malaysia and Vietnam to beat Laos. And the team that can take a point off Thailand will be in the semis.
Has got lots of pace, and he's developed very nicely over the last 2 or 3 years. What a pink header.
It certainly has. If anything, Des, you know, he's a very, very right-footed player, plays on the left-hand side, but he's got pace and he's got the ability to beat a defender. So if you have that, it doesn't really matter which side of the pitch you play on.
Sontele goes long, and unnecessary handball against Jamaluddin.
Well, it is not easy, Des, you know, to judge the flight of the ball with that rain pelting down, and Dautsu desperately unlucky, I thought. No intention there, but the referee obviously sees it different.
Chandalaphone floats it, no real height in the Lao attack, and that's easy enough for Malaysia just to come away with possession. Asaruddin Putra. Sontele. Thought he received just a little bit of a shove.
Well, it would have been a little bit more than a shove, because Shuko is a very, very strong player. But he's changed his game here. He's playing the holding role and allowing Hardy Jaffa to push forward a little bit more.
We're in Phuket. We're approaching the 20-minute mark in the first match of Group B. Of course, this group was moved from Bangkok after the political demonstrations taking place in the Thai capital over the last period of time, but in particular the last week. Kaysum has made 40 or 50 yards and pushed the ball over to Somai. Somai's touch is poor though, although the midfielder comes back and helps out his defence, although there is a free kick already being conceded.
Well, suddenly there's space opening up for Lao in midfield, and Satyanathan is not happy with that. I thought Amirul Hadi allowed Lao to go through midfield rather cheaply. You've got to be stronger than that in that area.
Indra Putra. Arudin Omar. Good target man. Asaruddin Putra onto Mohamed Khairul. As you say, onto that right foot of his. Was lining up the shot, and Suksamai did well to close him down, and Vise receives another little nick in the back from Shuka Adan.
Well, Shuko doing what he's supposed to do there. There's, not committing a foul in that, it doesn't warrant a yellow card or anything, but enough to disrupt the game. Give away a free kick. Let's reorganize and face Lao. That is the job of the defensive midfielder, Des. If you can't win it cleanly, you've got to at least break the opponent's rhythm.
No Hafiz Zamani. Again, Shebi Singh looks to the skies. Frustration of the quality of passing from you, Shebi.
Yes, Des. I think, in these conditions, you've got to play to feet. And I always believe, you play a middle distance passing game, 10 to 20 meters. And you build up, you play in pairs, you play, in triangles.
Arudin again holding it up well. Hadi Jafar supporting. Mohamed Khairul. Better cross in, and it might have skidded off the turf and into the far post, and embarrassing for Champ.
Well, it was Khairuddin Omar with his new aerodynamic look. Perhaps needed a little bit of hair there for better friction. Skims off his head. And that's that's the danger there, Daz. You know, when you have a right footer on the left-hand side like Khairil, soon as he cuts inside, the strikers can go beyond the ball too early. And that is something that they'll have to look out for, the timing of their runs.
Indraputra, sometimes he's too ambitious. Wonderful talent, Indraputra.
Well, really, Daz, I mean, you know, yeah, you have to be ambitious at times, but there wasn't much conviction when he took the shot. It seemed more like a back pass.
Visay gets the header in. There's an accidental clash of heads, and that hurts. I think it's Lamnau and Aidil Zafwan, and both were committed in going for the high ball. Oh, ouch.
Well, he's done a wonderful job, Lamnau, running the line on his own. Visay dropping a bit deeper to set him off. And yes, indeed, two brave players going for the same ball. When you get incidents like this in football,
Malaysia's next opponents in this group will be Vietnam in a couple of days' time at the same venue. Victory absolutely essential. Picturesque little stadium. Doesn't look any nicer a second time.
No, it's not very nice to see incidents like that over and over again. But yes, indeed, it's going to be a big headache for Aidil Zafwan and Lamnau as well. Satya's not happy, and obviously because Malaysia are not retaining the ball, they're giving it away too cheaply. There have been one too many attempts at long passes.
Just precaution of the warming up of the substitutes as the rather unique atmosphere of the Phuket crowd continues. The pitch is this way.
Yeah, we just saw there Subramaniam and Khairul Nizam both warming up, both centre-backs. Khairul Nizam lost his place to Aidil. I mean, he was Nur Hafiz Zamani's partner for many, many years. But the inclusion of Aidil Zafwan has added that little bit more pace in defense, a little bit more bite in the tackle. And Subramaniam, sometimes there's, if anything, he gets a little too eager in his challenges. So Satya will have to make a decision which one of the two he might bring on if Aidil Zafwan doesn't recover from that head injury.
Khairul acknowledges once again the fact his distribution's not the best. As Ketsada goes long. That's a lovely first touch from Visay. From Lamnau, sorry, who's recovered. Somai into Visay. Mohamed Shuka's done an awful lot of good work in the centre of the park. Mohamed Khairul slows it down. Nur Hafiz Zamani.
Yeah, there's Shuka again, Des, you know, because Amirul Hadi and Khairul Muhaimin are playing more like wingers, and Hadi Jafar has pushed on to support the strikers, which means Shuka has had a lot of work to do, and that's Hadi giving the ball away again. In that area, in the middle third, it is about short passes, Des. It's about switching play, keeping possession, probing. You mustn't get too anxious with that pass from the defensive third, from the middle third.
Shuka again tries to force it, breaks to Indraputra, and Indraputra onto his left foot. Well blocked by Saina Konfieng.
Well, that's good play from the Malaysian. Shuko into Khairuddin Omar, and Indraputra coming round to support him. Good combination play from the two strikers. And this is where the danger lies, because Hadi Jafar has got a reputation with free kicks. And this could spell danger, because Malaysia have not created too many chances. And I would say that was desperately unlucky for Peivan. It was ball hand rather than handball.
But it's a chance for Malaysia from the set play. Indra Putra and Hadi Jafar both capable of hitting the target, which is the minimum expectation.
Definitely, with weather conditions like that, work the goalkeeper, slippery ball, anything is possible.
It'll be Indra Putra, who does indeed work the goalkeeper, although it's straight down his throat.
And once again there, Des, I thought, you know, that should have been much better struck. I don't think there was enough pace behind that ball to work the goalkeeper. Perhaps Hadi Jafar will take the next one.
Dalsu Jamaluddin into Amirul Hadi. Closed down by Quezon. Fayvan. Good interception by Nur Hafiz Zamani and Mohamed Khairul, who's seeing plenty of the ball. As this pitch cuts up already, there's another game to be played on this match tonight, and then 2 on Monday. Oh, and both Khairuddin Omar and Amirul Hadi coming in on the far post, unable to connect with a lovely pass in.
That was a lovely cross indeed, and there was a lack of communication. Amirul Hadi coming behind Khairuddin Omar. I think Khairuddin just got a slight touch to it because it's a throw-in for Laos. Better communication, and Amirul Hadi would have met it. Great ball in from Asraruddin, and that is where Khairuddin just takes it away from Amirul Hadi.
Amirul Hadi scored in both the last 2 matches against Myanmar and Singapore for Malaysia. It's been a mixed warm-up for Malaysia for this tournament, but now they have a free kick in Hadi Jafar territory.
Well, if I was Hadi Jafar, I would not give the ball to anyone. It is Chandalafon who's had a very, very good game so far, giving away that free kick. And this is where I feel Hadi Jafar should come into his own.
Indra Putra is just standing over the ball, just trying to work it, and that's disappointing. We know he's got a wonderful left foot.
Well, obviously, that move had been worked on in training, but it's not easy to get the ball to curl around and over the wall if you take only 2 steps.
Amirul Hadi. Oh, it's behind Khairuddin Omar. Malaysia knocking at the door. And Indra Putra central to most of the good things that are happening up front for Malaysia. Although at the other end, Mohamed Helmi had to be positive there, and there was a little bit of confusion between him and Azharuddin.
Well, it was, again, confusion in that defense. I thought Asraruddin was caught too far wide. Never allow the midfielder to slide the ball inside you. That is exactly what happens. Helmi comes out, kicks it clear, and under the weather conditions, could not avoid that collision.
He's a big man. He's enjoyed an awful lot of success at club level. Kedah, of course, the double treble winners. Every major trophy available in Malaysia for the last 2 years has gone to Kedah, and Mohamed Helmi has been central to that success.
He certainly has been there. I mean, you know, from an unknown, he's become a big hero. He's cool, he's calm, he's composed. And in my opinion, he made the right decision there to come out and provide the cover. You've got to act as a sweeper in weather conditions like this. But he should have protected himself better, perhaps. But as you said, Des, he's a big lad, and he will definitely want to continue.
Syed Adni is the reserve for this contest for Malaysia, and he's a young goalkeeper with loads of potential. Still 31 minutes played in Phuket. Malaysia have yet to break down Laos. Chandalafon knocks the ball out of play. A look of disgust.
Well, he did expect Quetzada to work a little harder to reach that ball.
Amrul Hadi turns inside Quetzada. Headed clear by Suksame. Amrul Hadi, either he or Harudin Omar caught offside.
Well, it's the first time we've seen Amrul Hadi on the ball. A 1 against 1, Des. He's very, very good. Cuts inside Quetzada. Unfortunately, just couldn't get enough behind that cross, which was enough to cause confusion. And I get the impression that if Malaysia were to score, it would have to come from a big mistake from Cambodia rather than Malaysia to engineer a goal. Because, to be fair, in the last 20 minutes, the game's died a little bit. Both teams struggling for footing, struggling for possession.
Daitsu and Kaysone both having a real battle down there. In the end, it's a Malaysia throw-in on the Johor fullback. And there are definite signs of frustration. That's a little bit unfortunate. Indra Putra gives the referee the eyes.
Well, he will not be happy with that decision. It was once again a case of ball to hand.
Vise nearly rebounds into Lamnau. It does break to Suntale. Lovely ball to Kaysone. And the onrushing Feivan. I think it's come off the Lao number 12 and it's a throw-in earned by Mohamed Aidil Zafwan. But that was the best move that Lao have put together.
It certainly was. There was suddenly added pace in that attack and a good covering there from Aidil Zafwan.
Heart and mouth moment there between goalkeeper Suksama and Seng Fachan. Chandalafone somehow gets away from 3 blue shirts into Feivan. He just keeps ticking the ball along. Kaysone, who's coming more into the game. The longer this half has gone on, it's a lovely ball. In the end, Lamnau mishit it somewhat. But a couple of times now, and you can see the enthusiasm on the Lao bench.
And why not, Des? I mean, you know, that suddenly Lao stringing a few passes together, good passing. And again, you've got to look at Aidil Zafwan there, letting himself down, diving in, misjudging the ball. And Lamnau, very, very unlucky with that strike. I think he hit the ground. But the danger signs are there now for Malaysia. They've got to up the tempo, Des. They've got to put Lao under pressure.
Amrul Hadi. Daitsu Jamaluddin gets lucky. Amrul Hadi. Daitsu continues his run. Looking to get the cross in. Instead, he wins a corner kick. And that's good play between the 2 right-sided players, Amrul Hadi and Daitsu.
Yeah, good combination indeed. Moments of nerves now for Lao. And I think this is an opportunity, a big opportunity. Get Harudin Omar, Nur Hafiz Zamani, Shuko Adan into the box. Get decent delivery. And we all know Hadi Jafar can do that. Certainly an opportunity here, Des, from a game that's gone very, very stale.
Hadi Jafar, it's awkward to deal with as it skidded off the turf.
Well, Chandalafone once again at the right place at the right time, but Hadi's got to look at the quality of his delivery, or he's got to put quality into his delivery, Des.
The first one was too low, that one's too high. And great credit there for Zafwan because he's rescued a goal kick. And instead it's a throw-in for Lao deep in their own half as Malaysia press. It might break, they might have got lucky. In the end, Seng Fachan comes out and takes control. Good pressing though from Malaysia.
And they need to do that. They need to stop the Lao defense from keeping possession. Early pressure, as they did in the first 10 minutes. There's Malaysia pressed early, and they had a lot of possession in the Lao half.
In the last ASEAN Championship, Malaysia started off with a 4-0 victory over Philippines. I remember they struggled on that day as well. In the end, they went out in the semis. Hadi Jafar, first goal of the tournament, so crucial. Hadi Jafar fires one.
Well, not something that will please Satyanathan. Runs were being made. Khairuddin Omar, Amirul Hadi into space. Indra Putra was supporting, and Hadi obviously made the wrong decision.
Quezon can't keep it in play. Amrul Hadi. The run from Khairuddin Omar. Mohammed Khairul keeps it alive. Indra Putra. Indra Putra playing that deep will be something Laos will be fairly happy to see.
They certainly will be, because it technically means Malaysia are playing with only one up front, up against 4 Laos defenders. Not too much trouble to deal with, and I think that's something Satya will have to address in the second half. Put on another natural striker, play with 2 up front.
Indra Putra's cross is just punched away by Seng Fachan. Not exactly convincingly, but effectively.
Well, I think that should send a message to the Malaysians. The goalkeeper's not very, very comfortable with his handling. Put him under more pressure.
Strong challenge from Quezada as Dautsu again makes good ground down the right-hand side. AFF Suzuki Cup on Star Sports. Clearance from Suksame. Live on Star Sports and ESPN, all the games, right the way up until the final. As it breaks on the edge of the box to Indra Putra. Tried to take one touch too many. Suksame's clearance finds Feivan. Amrul Hadi was caught by a studs-high challenge, and I think there'll be some treatment required there.
It certainly was a very, very high challenge, Des, and I'm very surprised the referee did not see that. It was a nasty one. And there you go. No attempt to play the ball. And how did the referee miss that? Well, words between the coach and the captain. And I would feel a little bit for Satyanathan. He's not happy, the intensity has dropped, and his players are not retaining possession of the ball long enough to be able to create anything. You see that challenge once again, Des. I mean, look at that. That's over the top. That's a red card in my book.
Vise, not exactly renowned for his tackling, as rather sedate crowd watching on. I think Amrul Hadi is going to be okay. Noah Hafiz Samani, 4 minutes now before half-time. This was not in the script. Laos, if you recall, lost 11-0 and 9-0 in the last edition of the finals, having really nearly caused an upset against Indonesia in the first match. Foul there against Khairuddin Omar. So I think the expectations were that Malaysia would be able to roll them over.
Well, definitely, Des. You know, as I said before the game, if you have opponents who are physically and technically inferior to you, you have to take the game to them. Malaysia did that extremely well in the first 10 minutes. And then, as the minutes have ticked by, Malaysia has lost control. Laos, very composed, with their short, neat passes. They don't throw too many people forward. But yet, they have managed to trouble the Malaysian defense, with Lamnau and Vise combining extremely well. not very happy faces on the Malaysian bench, and that is Dato' Sochin An, a Malaysian legend on the bench. And I'm sure he'll be losing more hair as the game goes on. Not something Nur Hafiz is worried about. Again, these are the kind of situations that crop up in football. I mean, we saw Singapore struggle for 44 minutes to break down Cambodia, but at least Singapore had the upper hand. But over here, it's been pretty even, pretty uninspired, I would say.
Sugar Adam trying to put some inspiration into the blue shirts of Malaysia. Brought down. Suntale gives a little look to the referee.
Well, a little bit over-eager there.
No real complaints really, are there? Anyway, Suntale and Vise stands close. Make sure Indra Putra can't take a quick free kick.
Well, it's interesting here, guys. Is Indra Putra going for goal, or is he going to go for a delivery? Certainly not much of a run-up, but he's got to work the goalkeeper at least.
Indra Putra goes for goal, and it's over the top.
Again, another opportunity, I would say. Like I said, Des, I mean, minimum you've got to work the goalkeeper. And Indra Putra certainly has got the ability to do that. Although he lets himself down on this occasion. Straight down the middle once again.
Adil Zafwan just knocks the ball safely away from Visay.
Certainly has been the most liveliest of Malaysian defenders. Put himself about, has mistimed a couple of challenges, but I can tell you, Des, he has shown great determination.
Suntalai. Quetzada. No flag. And Lam now nearly getting free. Favan has got Quezon to his left. He's got Lam now on Visay in the middle. Tell you what, delivery there. And Malaysia were in real trouble. Instead, Hairudin Omar, as we go into time, added on for injuries. 2 minutes will be added. Hadi Jafar, 4 blue shirts to aim for. He keeps it on the ground to Shukar Adam. Chance for Mohamed Khairul to run at the defender. Good, strong defending by Somai. And then the clearance is good as well. And Mohamed Khairul, who started very brightly, and he seems to be symptomatic of the Malaysian half, started brightly and has faded somewhat.
It certainly has, Des. I mean, it's been a disappointing 45 minutes of football. Yes, plenty of endeavour, plenty of hard work, but definitely there's a lack of quality in both teams. Malaysia bossed it in the first 10 minutes, but ever since then, it hasn't been anybody's game. But to be fair to Laos, they've been composed, they've passed the ball around, they've made a couple of very, very good attacking moves.
Favan onto Lam now. Visay to his right, free kick. It'll be the last action of this first half as Adil Zafwan, the Negri centre-back.
Well, definite foul there, Des, trying to come in through the striker. Well, that's lack of composure. He's a young defender. He will improve, he will get better. But really, there's no reason to try to go through the striker to get the ball. There's enough numbers at the back.
Is there a real sting in the tail at the end of this half? Chandalaphone, who is used to getting on the score sheet. It's a long way out. It'll have to be a terrific strike. Favan it is who hits it. Mohamed Helmi just touches it over the top.
Well, it certainly was a quality drive there from Favan. Yes, if a little bit too straight. But he's done well there. Got the ball over the wall, tipping towards Helmi. Wet conditions, Des. As a goalkeeper yourself, I thought Helmi did well.
Corner kick, indeed, indeed. just make sure it stays out. It's the expense of a corner, though. Lam now goes short and didn't exactly see the sense in that. But Laos will be thrilled to bits to go in goalless at half-time against Malaysia. This the last significant action of the half, and it shows the improvement of Laos throughout the 45 minutes. Malaysia started well, but have huffed and puffed and will need some inspiration, Chevy Singh.
Certainly, Des. I think Satya Nathan will have to change things around a little bit. Play with two natural strikers, play with a little bit pace up front alongside Khairuddin Omar. Get the ball to Khairil and Amirul Hadi a bit more.
In the rain at the Surakel Stadium in Phuket at half-time. It's Malaysia 0, Laos 0. Welcome back to Phuket. You join us about 30 seconds into the second half of Malaysia versus Laos. It's goalless at half-time, which is something that is sending my co-commentator Chevy Singh apoplectic with rage. Chevy, you're expecting an awful lot better from your countrymen. You always do, always demanding, but you've been particularly disappointed.
Indeed, Des. I mean, it's been disappointing first 45 minutes from Malaysia. Well, to be fair, the first 10 minutes they looked very lively, but it's a game that Malaysia must win, to say the least. And it's important once again in the second half to take the game to Laos, keep possession in the opponent's half for long periods, and then you'll be able to create chances, because that's been a big problem for both teams, the ability to create chances.
Amirul Hadi for Malaysia, who are lining up with effectively a 4-4-2. In goal, Mohamed Heli, a back four of Dautsu, Mohamed Adil Zafwan, Noor Hafiz Samani, and Azharuddin Putra. A midfield four of Amirul Hadi, Hadi Jafar, Shukaradan and Mohamed Khairil up front, Indra Putra and Khairuddin Omar. That was the starting 11 and no change at half-time. So Satyanathan has kept his trust with him as Khairuddin Omar tries to get across him, but is blocked by Chandalaphone. Amirul Hadi is blocked by Suksame. And it's been not exactly a rearguard action from Laos. They've created one or two chances themselves, but for the most part they are happy to try and hit on the break and defend in numbers as Kason clears. Only as far as Hadi Jafar. Dautsu goes all the way through to goalkeeper Seng Fachan.
Well, slightly better from Malaysia. Good early start. But once again, as they started the game, Malaysia taking the game to Laos, keeping them pinned in their half, lacking a little bit of quality perhaps with the final ball.
Free kick goes against Dautsu Jamaluddin, the Johor fullback, scratching his head literally and metaphorically.
Oh yeah, Satya would have had some strong words to say in the dressing room. He knows that this is the one important game, but I'm sure he would also have reminded his players that even if it takes 90 minutes, let's win this. Even if we win it 1-0, that doesn't matter. But the 3 points are going to be priceless.
It is a must-win. Malaysia's next match is against Vietnam on Monday. A match you can see live on Star Sports. Good attacking defensive header from Suksame. Suksame, the number 5, and Chandalaphone, the number 6, have been resolute at the heart of that defence, as has Sainak Hombieng.
Well, they have looked sharp. They have been very, very incisive with their tackling as well.
Minutes gone as the hard-working Lam now holds the ball up and wins a free kick, and applause from Shebi Singh. You've liked the work of the number 8 Lam now.
Very much so, Des. He's impressed me in the first half. And look at that, not giving up. He is not the biggest, but he is physically strong, causing Nur Hafiz Zamani some problems.
Better one-touch football from Malaysia. Ashruddin Putra. Harudin Omar. It takes a long time for the cross to eventually come in. And when it does, it's disappointing. And Some is brought down by Harudin Omar.
Well, Harudin will be very, very disappointed. Did well there, cutting inside the fullback, and delivery was very poor. But working back to try to win it, to try to stop Laos from constructing a counter-attack. Well, we need some quality there, Des. Or rather, Malaysia needs some quality. And I'm looking at Safi Salih. He's not in the starting 11. There's been no reports if he was unwell. He's the one man who can score goals. Perhaps the pace of Nur Farhan, maybe not the most experienced, but he could give the Laos defense different problems.
Quetzada does well to clear from Amarul Hadi. And Laos started the 2006-7 edition of this tournament in similar vein. They had a terrific opening contest against Indonesia. Indonesia eventually won 3-1 via superior fitness. And then Laos fell apart with massive defeats against Singapore and Vietnam. That's the problem facing Malaysia, in that if it goes down to goal difference, it could become a problem. But they've got to beat them first, I should say.
That's right, Des. The way the game's been going, the victory is not assured yet. But once again, Aidil Zafwan there, working very hard. As I said, Des, he's been brought in there because he brings fresh legs, he brings determination, and working back there, no foul. Might have injured his shoulder, perhaps. Well, he certainly has got a long way to go, because I think Des, as a centre-back, he's got the makings to go on to become an important figure in that back line for many, many years to come. He's got all the attributes, just needs to compose himself a little bit, read the game a little better.
Kayson's cross-in was looking for Lam now, but confidently picked off by Mohamed Helmi. Distribution was looking for Amarul Hadi, and it wasn't the best. Quetzada. Vise. Shuka trying to hold off Vise. Lays the ball into the feet of Harudin Omar. Indra Putra making ground in the middle. So is Hadi Jafar. Here is Indra Putra onside. Breaks to Mohamed Khairul. Samai gets the clearance. There was a hint of a foul there, Shebi.
Well, perhaps a slight shove there, but it was poor control from Indra Putra that let the attack down. And I don't understand for what reason Laos were trying to play the offside trap, as they've done well without it, but they could play into the Malaysian hands.
Somai plays on the right-hand side.
Well, it might not have been captain playing, but there's the Lao defenders showing a lot of composure, very happy in possession of the ball, playing short, neat passes, trying to play their way out of defense. And I just feel the Malaysians have to be a bit more aggressive in that part of the pitch.
Indeed they are. Hadi Jafar getting the important tackle in, and Mohamed Khairul is blocked by, say, Nakhon Feivan, who works hard, but he lacks in stature. He makes up for in heart. And I think we've got our first change, and it is Safi Salih. Exactly the call you were after, and he's on for Amarul Hadi. which suggests a organisational change as well.
Yes, indeed. Safi Salih will run the line now, and Hairudin Omar will go to the right-hand side of midfield, where he has played many a time. And but to be fair to the youngster Amirul Hadi Zainal, it's not been his best day today. He's looked sluggish. He's not really looked as sharp as he normally is. But then again, every player is allowed one bad game. But it is Safi Salih now who will have to come up with the tricks. He's got the physical strength. He's got the composure in front of goal. It's just that the supply line hasn't been the best. And this is where the likes of Shukur Adan, Hadi Jafar and Indra Putra have got to step up now with their experience.
Hadi Jafar into Indra Putra. He's fired one in. Oh, terrific save. Indra Putra so nearly caught Sengfachan off his line, but the goalkeeper watched him, and a good strong hand has pushed it wide.
Well, that was a brilliant save. Indra Putra hit it ever so well. It was dipping into the far corner, and well done, Sengfachan. Save of the match, definitely, or rather the only save of the match.
Stadium filling up nicely ahead of the Thailand versus Vietnam game, but for Malaysia, this is where their attention is fully focused. Hadi Jafar, goalkeeper Sengfachan, receives a bit of a knock as he comes for the ball. I'm sure he'll get up.
Well, it's played into a much better area. You've got to work the goalkeeper, you've got to work the defenders. Sengfachan was brave, was strong, and it was good to see the Malaysians getting in there into that area. And this is the save. I mean, the bounce, and then the ball was dipping. And here Sengfachan ever so comfortable. It is Hairudin Omar and Aidil Zafwan working the goalkeeper, as you have to do from set-piece situations. And it is Suksame, the number 5 as well in the mix.
A change as Mohamed Zakwan comes on for Hadi Jafar. And again, a very different kind of player.
It is very interesting now. There's two fresh strikers on, Safi Salih and Zafwan, which will mean that now Indra Putra will drop back into Hadi Jafar's position as the playmaker, where I personally feel that he is at his best. So two fresh strikers, Indra Putra dropping into midfield to pull the strings now. Well done, Satya, with those changes. Now they've got to work. And he's made them at the right time as well, Des.
Zakwan. An early sighter from him.
Well, indeed it is, Des. And you are not seeing double, because Mohamed Zakwan has got a twin brother in the team, Aidil Zafwan. They're so alike, Des. It's difficult to tell them apart.
The yellow boots are one distinguishing factor. And in the meantime, Laos have got away down the left-hand side. Oh, tell you what, Vise tried to be a little bit too clever then.
He knew he was always struggling to get to the ball, Des. He had an opportunity to whip it in early. Made a bad decision. A good one for Malaysia as Helmi calms things down.
Stadium very much filling up now and the atmosphere building. Thailand and Vietnam are next. And the Thai fans will be rather pleased to see Malaysia struggling so much, and it could be even worse because Mohamed Helmi's made a terrific save from Lamnau. And Lamnau, who plays his club football in Thailand, had a glorious opening there, Shebi.
Wow, that was the best chance of the match. 1 against 1, literally. Should have hit it better, but great work here from Zafwan.
Zakwan looking for the give and go with Hairudin Omar. And there's more urgency in the blue shirts. Favan loses out, one number 12 to the other. Shukur Adan does well. hoisted in. Indra Putra goes to ground, no free kick. Sena Kombieng.
Well, it's coming to life now. There's the game. Lam now. Great run. And he tried to lob the ball over Helmi. I mean, this was it. A through ball beats 4 defenders. Does well to try to lift it over Helmi, but that is a super save. A top-class save from a goalkeeper. There's, in my opinion, is head and shoulders above everybody else in Malaysia.
Safwan. Safi was lurking in and around the penalty spot as we played an hour in Phuket. Victory essential if Malaysia have serious pretensions of making it to the semi-finals. 2 groups of 4. The top 2 advance. Each team plays each other once. Goal difference might become crucial. At the moment, though, Malaysia just want the 3 points. Asruddin Putra. Again, Shukaradan, just a little shove on the back of Favan, who shields the ball well.
Well, a little interesting there because Khairuddin Omar is still playing very central, but in central midfield, Khalil Muhaimin has gone to right-hand side with Indra Putra on the left. And it is Muhammad Zakwan who's coming there. That's with his mobility, with his ability to come off the back 4 and receive the ball and turn, that's causing a lot of problems from Laos.
First change. And it's Vise who's come off, the number 9. And I'm wondering if this is a defensive move from coach Seisana Sabati. Sangvon coming on to replace Vise. Indra Putra curls one in, the header isn't too far wide from Zakwan. Tell you what, he's made an impact already in the 5 minutes he's been on.
Well, he certainly has, Des. I mean, his mobility and his willingness to want the ball, his willingness to run with it. Good ball whipped in. Always was going to be very difficult with a back header. But Zakwan's done enough there. He's injected pace and life into the Malaysian team.
He's got a couple of international goals to his name already since his debut against Bahrain last October. And he's chasing once again. That's good defending from Chandalafon. Kenzada, it remains goalless in Phuket. Mohamed Cairo.
Well, it's Khalil Muhaimin now playing in his favoured right-hand side with his stronger right foot. And I do expect him to try to take on Kenzada, who's had a very, very steady game. And that can be said about the back 4 from Laos. Senak, Chandalafon, Suksamai and Kenzada.
Suntale with the foul on...
Sorry, Des.
Suntale with the foul on Adnan Shuka. And it's a chance for the physically superior bodies of Malaysia to get forward.
Well, it is delivery that's going to be important. And it is Dautsu looking at that. No, he's going to leave it. Because you've got the big boys there. Shuko Adan, Khairuddin Omar, Indra Putra, Safi Sali, all very good in the air. Zakwan as well. Asraruddin has a major role to play with delivery.
And it might break. It nearly broke to Khairuddin Omar. If it was on his right foot, you suspect that might have hit the back of the net. Diving in somewhat, Azharuddin.
Well, again, Des, I thought, there goes the best chance for Malaysia. But this was Asraruddin. Had an opportunity to play it wide to Khalil Muhaimin. Decided to play into the middle. Gives away the foul. But this was it. Good ball. I mean, you got to put it up there in the air. Chandalafon with a poor header. Khairuddin Omar lacking composure. As a striker, that's the one area where you got to be composed. And Khairuddin Omar was not.
64 minutes gone, the countdown, the clock is ticking. And a corner to Malaysia. Let me ask, what kind of reaction non-victory for Malaysia would produce back home?
Well, Des, to be honest, I would hate to imagine the reaction if Malaysia do not win 3 points here. Because, I mean, you know, the Malaysians have waited a long time. It's 12 years now since Malaysia last played in the final of the Tiger Cup.
Adnan Shuka, it's a better ball in. He's gone to ground, and Suntale has defended that superbly, it must be said, against Mohamed Khairul Mohameen.
Once again, Des, I mean, he got himself into a very good position, but unfortunately didn't know what to do in that situation. Was he going to try to look for a corner kick, try to get it off a defender's leg, or cut it back? So once again, moments of indecision like that are beginning to cost Malaysia. Even though in the last 5-6 minutes they have had the upper hand. That save from Mohamed Helmi seems to have galvanized the Malaysians, and the substitutions obviously are working as the Malaysians are putting Laos under pressure. But credit to Laos, they've not lost their composure. They still want to play the passing game, even though the ground conditions are not the best.
The change you saw there was centre midfielder Suntala, replaced by Vieng Savan. 17 is Sangfon. And it seems to be a case of, we've got a goalless draw at the moment, let's hold on to it. Zakwan, good blocking. And the goalkeeper thought he'd kept that one in, gives the linesman a look and a glare, but it's a corner kick to Malaysia. Midway through this second half, it remains goalless in Phuket. 6 blue shirts for Indra Putra to hit, and he hits the front man. Dautsu, still the big men are up. And that's come off the top of the bar. Mohamed Adil Zafwan was defended superbly, it must be said. A great ball in, though, from Dautsu Jamaluddin.
Very much so. I mean, look at that. That's lifted into the box. The goalkeeper calls for it, but Saina gets in there. Very unlucky, Malaysia. Well, sometimes, not all the time, rather, Des, you have to play pretty football. Get it into the box, put the goalkeeper under pressure.
And this time the goal has been turned in. And it's Safi Salih. The substitution has worked, and the relief is palpable, not only amongst the players, but in the commentary box.
Well, it certainly is. And I can tell you, Des, there'll be 26 million people heaving a sigh of relief. Not the best of deliveries, but how about that for improvisation from Safi Salih? Reacts faster than the defender. Good goal. And I told you, this man can score goals. Built like Gerd Muller, finishes like Gerd Muller too.
A 7th international goal for Safi Salih. And this will be the perfect angle. Choi just guides it into the corner. No chance for the keeper, or for Kaeson, who's on the line.
Well, he's the man of the moment there, so to speak. But the injection of life and pace with the substitutions, Safi Salih, Mohamed Zakwan coming in, just galvanizing the team. And also don't forget, there's that great save by Mohamed Helmi from Lamnau.
As Kaeson comes off, this is Kitzada, not to be confused with Ketzada, who's already on the pitch. Ketzada number 4, Kitzada Tonken number 3.
Well, interesting substitutions. I thought Vise going off was rather interesting because he did a very good game. But Laos, obviously, there's not playing for a draw. I mean, they have counter-attacked every opportunity. One great chance with Lam now breaking free. But it is for Malaysia now, Des, to keep their composure, keep the ball, but keep the ball in the Lao half.
A goal from Safi Salih on the volley on 67 minutes is what separates the teams. 3 points, the least that Malaysia expect from this contest. Zakwan finds Mohamed Khairul, and Safi Salih's available in the penalty area. Another missed kick from Chandalaphone, who's unorthodox but a very effective defender.
Well, he certainly has worked overtime covering that defense, blocking shots himself.
Gone short. Zakwan's available. Oh, the cross is disappointing from Dautsu. Got himself into a great position and then failed to deliver.
Well, he certainly overhits that one, Des, but it was interesting because when the corner was played to him, the Lao defense was very, very slow in closing him down. He had time and space.
Fitness was a real problem for Lao in the last championship. And it was in the second half they tied badly against Indonesia before those two thumpings against Singapore and Vietnam. As Dautsu puts another cross in, aiming towards Safi.
It was Khairul Muhaimin on this occasion. And why not? When you've got Safi Salih, definitely stronger and gives him better mobility. You know he's going to attack everything, unlike Khairuddin Omar.
Better delivery. Good header on the far post by Kidzada. Zakwan. They like the colour boots to the twins.
And why not, Des? I mean, you know, his twin, Muhammad Aidil Zafwan, in defence has had a steady game.
Indra Putra guided him, twisting and turning from Mohamed Khairul. Mohamed Khairul nearly got a toe poke away, and there were 7 or 8 players in the 6-yard box there, and the pressure is now telling on Lao.
Indeed, I mean, Khairul Muhaimin, and once again, Des, like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty all the time, and that's what Malaysia have done. Play direct. If you get set pieces, lump the ball into the box, but fight for it. And that's what Malaysia are doing.
Oh, strong challenge. That might be a yellow card. Indeed it is, because it's studs up challenge. And it's poor old Mohamed Aidil Zafwan once again who's on the receiving end. The apologies from Chandalaphone. Who received the yellow card.
Certainly a good old-fashioned centre-half. Has been in the wars, so to speak. Took a knock to his head. Had to go off the pitch. But this one, Des, let's be honest here, Des. It could have been a different colour to the yellow that Chandalaphone was given.
Guided into the corner, Indra Putra, 2-0. And after the first went in, you suspected there would be more to follow. And Indra Putra guides this free kick into the bottom corner.
Well, I think that's justice for that foul on Aidil Zafwan. Good free kick. This time he gets it right. Into the bottom corner. No chance for the goalkeeper. It's come after a long, long time. After a very, very poor first half, Indra Putra has at least delivered from a set piece. And that's 2 goals from 2 set pieces, Des.
No Hafiz defends. Mohamed Khairul can turn. Referee plays an advantage because Safi Salih is in possession. And Indra Putra. A 13th international goal for the Kelantan FA player. Mohamed Zakwan. Too many red shirts there. But no real shirts going forward until there's a bit of support now Fayvan, though, hasn't got the legs. And Azharuddin Putra decides safety first.
A good decision by the fullback, but there's I just see the fight going out of Laos a little bit, legs getting heavier, not reacting as they were. It is a mountain to climb for them, 2-0 down. And it was Safi Salih who quite literally took the wind out of the Laos sails. All right, then, go on, Des, correct me.
Very bad. You're rescued by a linesman's flag that calls Lamno offside, and we can concentrate on the game again and not on the English.
Took the wind out of the sails of Laos.
A more relaxed Malaysia, a more relaxed Shebi Singh. 2-0, 15 minutes to play, and now they need to push on and get more.
It is important, Des, you know, I mean, 3 points, like I said, was going to be the important thing. Because it's been a long time, and Malaysia, in the last 10, 15 years, have always fallen, you know, at the hands of the likes of the Philippines, the hands of Laos. So these are the kind of matches where you need to go out there and win. It's not important how you play, but win those matches, and it sets you up very, very nicely. 3 points just puts more pressure on Vietnam and Thailand in the game after this.
Azharuddin, a little push on the back of Chandalaphone. He's not the most pretty, but he works ever so hard for the cause, doesn't he?
Well, quality was lacking from his game when he was the central striker, but he's dropped into a central midfield position, working alongside Shuko Adan and working well. Perhaps that's the one position where he could prolong his career. He's had a horrific time with injuries, to be fair to Khairuddin Omar. And most of the time he's been selected on the right-hand side of midfield, where he hasn't got the skills, but he will give you 100% every time.
Azharuddin's long throw. Indra Putra leaves it to Safi Salih. The free kick goes against Safi Salih. Not quite sure what for, but the Selangor forward has come on and made the difference that his coach needed. And might have found himself a starting place in the match against Vietnam.
Well, he definitely, I mean, it was a shock that he didn't start this game. But you can't deny that quality from Indra Putra. Lovely free kick. And now Satyanathan can plot his tactics for the next game against Vietnam.
Safi in the back of Suksame. Looks like he's done a bit of work in the weight room. Good set of shoulders on him now. He's a bigger player than he was 12 months ago. My most recent experience of watching him was that terrific overhead kick in the wet.
Well, it certainly was. That, I think, was the highlight of the Merdeka tournament, which Malaysia hosted. Unfortunately, fell at the hands of the Vietnamese under-23s. But Safi Salih is hot property. There's
Sang Fachan tries to be a little bit cute.
Well, comparisons are very, very unfair, Des. But if we've got somebody who reminds us of the late Mokhtar Dahari, Malaysian footballing legend, it is Safi Salih, with his build, with his physique, with his power, and his finishing ability.
Big shoes to fill.
Oh, indeed. I mean, you don't want to be compared to Mokhtar Dahari. And I know, like I said, comparisons are very, very unfair. No pressure on you, Safi. But there's credit to Laos. I mean, we go back to Lam now. 1 against 1 with Mohammad Helmi. If that had gone in, could well have been a different story.
Instead, Fayvan and Lau continue just to try to probe away. tired limbs definitely playing a part. Sena Convieng fires it in. Safe gloves once again from Mohamed Helmi, who seems to look bigger in that green shirt than the grey he wears for Kedah.
That's a tactic. There's wear grey and look smaller, and the opponents will hit you every time.
Favan. Mohamed Zakwan, helped out by his brother. Safi. Indra Putra's made the run inside. And then tries to take a touch too many. Kidzada, miss kick.
Well, certainly tired legs there from Kidzada, who will come out of this game with credit, Des, to be honest. I thought he's done extremely well, but the legs are getting heavier. It's been a very, very heavy pitch, and being 2 goals down makes that just that little bit more difficult.
10 minutes for Malaysia to try and capitalise and build on this 2-0 lead. Oh, might they face a problem? Because Zafwan's been caught out, and Noor Hafiz Zamani has rescued Mohamed Zafwan.
Well, it was a big mistake there. Big misjudgment there from Aidil. Misjudged the flight of the ball. But good work from Helmi. Did enough to put off the striker, and Noor Hafiz Zamani coming back to save on the line.
Zakwan finds Mohamed Khairul. It might break through to Safi once again. Safi's got a touch to Indra Putra. Hairudin coming from deep. Nobody really looked convincing in that situation, did they?
No, not at all. It was Indra Putra trying to play a 1-2 with Shuko Adan. This is the ball. The bounce takes it away from Aidil. Helmi does well.
Sangvon it was who was denied. He came on as substitute for Vise, and you think Vise might have done a better job, actually.
Well, to be fair to Sangvon, I thought he was caught in 2 minds. Do I flick this over the goalie and then smash in the ball? Or do I just flick it over the goalkeeper into goal? That moment of indecision there, costing him. And Hafiz, not Hafiz Zamani, doing well, covering his goalkeeper.
Shot from distance. Zakwan.
Well, he's perhaps, Daz, I mean, responsible more than most for injecting that life, that pace, that determination up front. Because his twin, well, he will not want to see that again. But Aidil had been doing the same defensively. And look out for the twins. They are going to be the mainstay of the national team, Malaysian national team, for many, many years to come. Steady improvement in their careers. And coincidentally coached by one Jamak, one Hassan, who was the Malaysian coach in 1996 when Malaysia played in the final of this tournament.
The twins both 21 years of age. So long careers ahead of them. Important few years coming up for Malaysian football, starting with the no import rule in the Malaysian League. And they hope that that will improve the quality.
Well, if anything, Des, I mean, that ruling is just going to improve the playing time for strikers in Malaysia, for local strikers in Malaysia. And if that can't help build your game, then I don't know what will. So there are pros and cons. But sometimes you have to sacrifice the glamour of the league for the national team, for the long-term future of the national team. And the 2 coaches there, well, we all know which one will be the happier. But credit to Laos, they came into this game, they passed the ball, they had a game plan, relied on counter-attacks, had one great opportunity in the first half with that free kick that Helmi saved, and Lamnao in the second half. When a team like Laos, you're not going to create too many chances, but when you do get a chance, you have to make that count.
We're in Phuket for the AFF Suzuki Cup. This is Group B. The Surakel Stadium. It's of course been moved because of the political situation in Thailand from Bangkok to Phuket. And this pitch will soon have Vietnam versus Thailand coming on as Safi Sali tests once again Semphachan.
A bit disappointing from Safi. Clear side of goal. No defender closing him down. Hits the target but doesn't get enough power behind that shot.
Fevan continues to work forward. Muscled out of it. Harudin Omar finds Indraputra, scorer of Malaysia's second. The run from Safi Sali. The covering work is good from Kidzada. And Safi, little shove.
A little unnecessary. The ball just hit a little too hard there from Safi. Pace is not his greatest asset. Play to feet and he will surprise people.
Harudin Omar replaced by Juzeli. A good shift from Harudin. He's worked hard.
But to be fair to Harudin, I thought he played better when he moved into the central midfield position. But it's pretty obvious that as a central striker, he did suffer from a lack of quality.
Shukarada, sorry, Juzeli immediately involved. Mohamed Karil started ever so brightly. Keep ball for Malaysia at the moment. Juzeli just couldn't knock the ball into the path of Mohamed Karil.
Well, he had time and space there, to put his foot on the ball, control it, bring Karil into play. But fresh off the bench, a bit eager.
Mohamed Zakwan, Indraputra. Him playing on this left-hand side means that there's a lack of width, ironically, but that's a delicious ball, and Safi Sali makes it 3. Made by Indraputra, deftly finished by Safi Sali.
That is a very, very intelligent finish there, Daz. He knew what he was doing, and he just got the right touch. Very aware of his whereabouts in the penalty box. Lobbed into the box, hopeful lob perhaps, but Safi Sali scores a wonderful goal. And Des, we did talk about Safi Sali scoring goals, and he's got 2 now, 2 crucial ones for Malaysia. 1 to put them ahead, and 1 there perhaps to take away the nerves.
3-0. Shuko wins the ball again, and Malaysia now looking for a 4th, because goal difference, they know, could become crucial. Kidzada crosses on 6-yard line, which I never like to see, but Chandalaphone looks out to Kidzada. To be fair, they've played this football very nicely from their own defence. Although the final ball into Lamnau is a little bit too hard. Mistakes now beginning to creep in, very much so into Laos.
Well, Des, I agree with you. I mean, Laos have shown better composure at times. They've passed the ball out of defense. The players have been comfortable on the ball. And definitely, I mean, this is an improvement for Laos football. Never mind the scoreline, but there have been aspects of their game where they have been better than Malaysia.
This, though, very much a warm-up for Malaysia. Vietnam are next. And then after that, Thailand. With the benefit, I think, for Malaysia of it being in Phuket, playing in Bangkok is a very different proposition than playing in the smaller stadium in Phuket. Fevan. Suksame. Loses out to Indra Putra. And Suksame has done well. Spent most of the match at centre-back. He's moved into central midfield in the last 10 minutes or so. But that was a centre-back's pass. No offence, Chevy.
No, none taken, Des. It is that time of the game, you know, 3-0 down, legs are heavy. Tries to play a through ball, which he does well, unfortunately, because nobody's got the legs to go behind, to go chasing it. Well, there's not perhaps the best of games in terms of quality of football, but 3 goals of top quality. And not to forget, I mean, top quality saves as well. Helmi saving from Lucknow. And
the save from Indra Putra.
Singh Pachan save from Indra Putra as well. So there have been moments of brilliance in this game. But this man, once again, more than most, Mohammad Zakwan, I think, came in there and ignited the Malaysian team. Because up front, they were pretty toothless until he got on. And Safi Salih putting in the finishing touches.
The Negri Sembilan striker certainly made a difference. 3-0, is it enough?
Well, I mean, he certainly puts the pressure on Thailand and Vietnam now, because one of them has to win their game. A draw in that game leaves Malaysia top of the table. So we've got to look at that aspects. And of course, the pressure will be more on Thailand as the home team to come out and try to beat Vietnam. And that's what Malaysia needs. Malaysia needs an outright winner in the next game.
Thailand versus Vietnam coming up in just a couple of hours. Indra Putra trying to make it 4. Indra Putra takes a stride too many. Referee plays on as Safi goes down in the penalty area. You just wanted Indra to strike the ball a little bit earlier. Sangvon. Mohammad Zafwan in through the back, and a yellow card, and silly yellow card really.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, you know, he's made some rash decisions in this game. In the first half as well, he did give away a free kick. But, I mean, that's the problem with young central defenders. You have to tell them, Des, you don't have to win every ball. Striker is facing away from goal. Just close him down, touch tight, let him have the ball, don't let him turn. And that's an unnecessary yellow card, which could cost Malaysia in the later stages.
Into the final 60 seconds of time added on. How Malaysia would enjoy a 4th goal. They've certainly got plenty of bodies forward. Zakwan, and they'll have a corner kick and a last chance as the hard-working Chandalaphone urges his teammates to come back and help. He's put in a terrific effort for Laos.
He certainly has, Des. I mean, to be honest, I think he's been the best defender on the pitch. Really worked very hard, kept his back line strong and solid. The first 2 goals from set pieces, well, he can't do much about that.
Shukar Adam, Dautsu. Indra Putra waits for the ball. It's a handball, but no free kick because the referee has blown his final whistle. The Lao players slump to their knees because they are absolutely shattered after their efforts. For Malaysia, it was a late show, but 3-0 is kind of satisfying.
It is. I mean, a difficult game. Players perhaps not performing as well as they can. But Satya, as I said earlier, you know, will take the 3 points. And if you've got 3 goals as well, that's a bonus. Definitely a good start for the Malaysians. Football will get better. There is room for improvement, but the result couldn't be better.
Safi Salih with 2 goals on 67 and 87. A lovely Indra Putra free kick arrowed into the bottom corner. They were the key statistics. Malaysia have set the marker in Group B here in Phuket. Thailand versus Vietnam to come. But from Phuket, the final score, Malaysia 3, Laos 0.
This broadcast is brought to you by Caltex with Techron.